I love walking into my school's bathroom and actually seeing a toilet in the stall. While this might sound a little weird because, well, every toilet and bathroom should have a toilet, at least you would think it would, right? However, this wasn't always guaranteed at my school last year. You see, my school thought that it would be hilarious if we would take stall doors, sinks, and yes, even toilets from our bathrooms, which was inspired by a TikTok trend. And while this might have been fun in the moment, it was not really funny when someone decided to take a toilet off of the ground, which flooded the entire bathroom, causing everyone in our school to be able to only use one single bathroom. And while this might have seemed like harmless fun, it caused so many people to be hurt in the process because every single student and staff member couldn't make it to class on time because they're waiting for the lines in the single bathroom that we were able to use. But why would someone do this in the first place? Well, it has something to do with fanaticism. But what is fanaticism in the first place? Well, today, we'll be opening up the stall door into what fanaticism is and what it causes in our society today. Till secondly, we'll be washing our hands into some causes of the reason why fanaticism has become so big in our society. Till finally, drawing our hands in some solutions to stopping this issue dead in its tracks. So what is fanaticism? Well, according to Cambridge Dictionary in 2022, fanaticism is described as an extreme interest in something to a degree that some people simply find unreasonable. Now, this isn't your good old coffee drinker that needs the exact same coffee every day. We're talking about the people that have a fixation on a subject that affects everyone around them negatively. And a main example that we can see from this is TikTok. And even though we've seen many benefits come out of TikTok, there's so many problems that are currently coming out. From the milk crate challenge, where we're seeing people stack milk crates into stairs, to seeing how high they can climb, to dousing a chicken in NyQuil and eating it. And sometimes the chicken isn't even cooked half the time. This type of fanaticism causes so much harm to oneself, and it only continues to get worse and worse. But not just on TikTok. It's across all platforms. The one that most people don't think of is YouTube. And even though there might not seem like a big deal, there are so many people that fantasize over a certain content creator, and it starts getting worse and worse to where they start researching this creator for months just to see where they live so that way they can stand on their doorstep and wait for them to come home. While this might seem like meaningless behavior, it's causing people to get hurt. According to Time in 2019, it explains that unfortunately recently a YouTube content creator, Christina Grimmie, recently died because of an obsessed fan. Local police talked about how the reason why the gunman killed her is because he showed an unrealistic infatuation with Christina. While these obsessions can seem harmless, they're ending up hurting people and even ending up killing them. Take sports, for example. There are so many people, year after year, that are overly obsessed with sports. According to the Variety in 2022, it states that the #1 most watched NFL show, and just show in general in America, is NFL Sunday Night Football, following 2 more sports channels after that. However, it gets worse than that. We can see that while this seems like a harmless pleasure, this passion can turn deadly. The New York Post explains in 2022 that recently Tennessee fans took home a few souvenirs after the massive win over Alabama. More than 100,000 Tennessee fans stormed Neyland Stadium's field and started ripping off goalposts from the field. The fans started knocking down these goalposts by later carrying them into the streets and causing more chaos there. We can see that this happens constantly in our sports world. However, we can see that one of the worst sports that this happens in is soccer. And even though soccer has one of the worst reputations in the world for sports, it's not because of the game itself. According to New York Times in 2022, it shows an event that costed some people everything. The soccer fans recently in Indonesia rushed a professional soccer match recently. After this, it caused the police to fire tear gas in tightly packed crowds, setting off a stampede that killed at least 125 people. So many people are dying or continuing to harm themselves because of fanaticism. But why does it happen in the first place? Well, a study done in 2018 by Dr. Neal may shed a little light on this question. He found that this behavior might start at a time where we personally felt vulnerable. People develop obsessions day to day because they're trying to deal with the pain in their lives. Most of the time, we can see that so many people are developing these obsessions, and there are so many factors that can go into it. But a few that are mainly shown is that it comes from a mental state and can even come to the homes that they're raised up in. However, one thing stands clear is that fanaticism in our society is causing so many issues that once you hook yourself into it, it's a lot harder to get out of. Psychology Today explains this further by stating that fanaticism is like a drug. Let loose on society, it's like crack cocaine, only worse. Alcoholics drive through life like fanatics driving through life, under the influence. While it can seem like they're driving peacefully, they're killing innocent bystanders by the thousands or millions in return. Fanaticism has so many issues and there's so many explanations, but we can see that fanaticism hurts us all. We can see that most of the time, the people who are struggling with it don't even question beyond a doubt whether they have it or not, or whether they have an issue. However, we can see that many scientists have come to the conclusion that the reason why people struggle with fanaticism is because loyalty can often turn into fanaticism when it becomes unruly and unreasonable, and into resignation, and when it displays the characteristics of reluctant acceptance. Most of the times we end up in situations that we don't think will end negatively, but they end up ending so poorly, causing issues for us and the people around us. Now, taking a dryer off the wall won't have lasting consequences, but how do we stop it before we have lasting impacts? Well, first of all, we need to stop supporting fanaticism. The more that we stop celebrating their bad behavior by either laughing with them or not doing anything, the more that it starts helping them stop justifying the means of their actions. According to the forum in 2022, it found that basically all these people and fanatics can justify practically any atrocity that they want to commit. However, when we decide to step from being in the back to being in front and telling them that their actions are unacceptable, the harder it is for them to justify the means of their actions. Most of the time, we don't think we're contributing to any of the problem. However, most of the time, the people who are the problem with this situation are the bystanders, not doing anything to help stop this. Being in the background of this issue only causes those who are struggling to get worse. So many people are having this issue, and you never know who's struggling with fanaticism. However, when we decide to step from being a bystander to being in front of the issue to stop people from dying because either your favorite content creator doesn't love you or your favorite soccer team didn't win a match, is not accepted anymore. We want to push a culture that is completely healthy as much as possible to make a better world for us and the generations around us. The more that we start pushing fanaticism out the door, the more that this realistically becomes a possibility. One thing that we all can do right now, however, is to ask ourselves the question, whether it's us, our friends, or even our family members, who in our lives is dealing with fanaticism, and how can we personally stop it before it's too late? Fanaticism is an issue that so many people struggle with, even right now. However, when we decide to approach this, that's what makes all the difference in the world. As we first open the stall door into what fanaticism has caused in our society, we washed our hands into some causes of why this happens in the first place. till finally drawing our hands in some solutions to stopping this issue dead in its tracks. I am so glad that people stopped stealing things from the bathroom, even though I check the stalls from time to time to make sure a toilet's still there. But please, please, stop stealing from the sinks again. The more that we can promote a healthy culture of washing our hands in high schools, the better it'll be for all of us.